You are listening to the Co-Movement Gym podcast. The following is a conversation with Heather Loveland-Button. Heather is the owner of Home Sweet Home Cleaning and Gardening. She has over 20 years of experience in the residential cleaning industry and the horticultural field. Heather has earned a Bachelor of Science degree from Cornell University and has been recognized for her work as a catalyst business with the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce. She is known for her expertise in cleaning and business and has a proven track record of success in small business operations and management. I met Heather a few years ago when she joined our gym. Heather is a genuinely nice and caring human being. Her company, Home Sweet Home Cleaning and Gardening, goes above and beyond by assisting cancer patients with cleaning their homes through her nonprofit, Cleaning for a Reason. We are also happy to announce Home Sweet Home Cleaning is a sponsor of the Co-Movement Gym podcast. I would like to thank our sponsors, Native Pass Supplements, Lombardi Chiropractic, Home Sweet Home Cleaning, and Thin Line Martial Arts. If you are enjoying this content, I ask that you support these companies in the description and take advantage of the enticing discount that they are providing our listeners by using the code COMO15. That's COMO 15. I thank each and every one of you for being on this journey with us. Now, please enjoy the show. Heather, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I was super pumped to talk. We've got a lot in common, like we were talking before the show. We're entrepreneurs. You're doing great things.
Thank you.
We met when you joined the gym there, and you're doing amazing things that I want to tell our community about. So what caught my attention was a bunch of things. You're a Cornell graduate?
I am.
Yeah. What
Yep.
was the major?
I studied plant science.
Okay.
So like a focus on horticulture.
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
sweet. So you own a cleaning company,
Do.
Home Sweet Home Cleaning, and gardening. Where does the gardening tie into the cleaning side? Because I didn't know that's what you majored in.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, do you do anything with the gardening side now? Or
I did before I got pregnant.
okay, tell me about it.
All right. So before, there's always these larger landscaper companies, and I felt like they were putting out just kind of the same plant things over and over and easy to care for shrubs and hardscapes. And once they would get installed, there wasn't anybody really coming in to take care of the plants if they were more specialized, other than just something that needed to be shaped once a year.
Mhm.
So if people wanted actual beautiful, colorful perennial gardens, most companies didn't know how to maintain that. So I felt like there was a little niche market in there to come in and be more focused on gardens versus landscaping.
Sure.
So we would do installations. We would usually get, 4 to 6 of those a year.
Mhm.
And then we would do the maintenance on those. So basically the
Wow.
same structure, business structure
Mhm.
and maintenance schedule as cleaning. So we would go in some of our gardens, we'd go in weekly for a set amount of time. And
Like
we would,
weeding and all that?
yeah,
Okay.
and mostly like deadheading, because that each plant needs something different for
Mhm.
that. And certain plants need to grow. Well, you have your farm.
Mhm.
So some plants like to spread, and some plants you need to take care of in certain different ways, depending on the type of
Mhm.
plant. So we go in and do a set amount of time based off of the homeowner's budget typically. It's say 3 hours once a week, or 3 hours every 2 weeks, or 3 hours once a month, depending
Mhm.
on the size and the scope of the work. And it went really well, but I felt like it was hard to scale from the entrepreneurial side because not a lot of people had that knowledge.
Sure. And gardens are hard.
They are hard.
Wicked manual labor,
Yes.
a constant maintenance. I
Right.
understand. Yeah.
And it's also seasonal. So like the cleaning, I realized when I was getting ready to start my family, that's something that would go year round. And it was something that I could scale and be able to be involved in, but not be involved in the everyday operations. So the gardening is something we'd like to circle back to.
Okay, sweet.
But currently we are not doing that since I just had 2 babies in the last 2 years.
Sure. Yeah, that's interesting. So you went to school, got into the gardening side, but then what clicked to switch over to cleaning houses?
So I started them both at the same
Oh,
time.
you did at the same
Yeah.
time. Okay, so you didn't
Yeah.
go from gardening to
So
houses.
like if you go way back, I'm third generation house cleaner.
Mhm.
So my great grandmother cleaned houses, my mother cleaned houses, and her sisters. So I was raised cleaning. I was raised starting to work at
You were
14.
around it. Okay.
Always. I've cleaned since I was 14, and I will be 39 next month. So it's just part of me. And I've always been like, I think there's something here. I think that this could actually be something larger than, just a couple people out there in the field doing it. And the gardening was kind of more just me looking into it
Mhm.
as me being interested in it. I started school at Morrisville
Mhm.
for early education and really quickly decided like I am not a very patient person.
Which is funny because you have kids.
I have kids. I'm also not 18 anymore.
Sure.
And I have a lot of help with my kids, but I had started looking into the horticultural side at Morrisville, and
Mhm.
then I transferred from there to Cornell and got my bachelor's degree there.
Sure.
And I started doing my first job with gardening was at the Root Glen and over here at Hamilton
No
College.
way. Yeah,
Yep.
we hike over there. My wife graduated from there, so I swam there yesterday. Like
Yeah.
we're over there a lot. So
So
cool.
that was my first internship through
Mhm.
Morrisville,
Okay.
and I loved it. I thought it was awesome, and I just thought that the knowledge was super interesting.
It's beautiful over
So
there.
pretty.
Yeah.
It was close to home, and I got paid for it during the summer as a college kid, so I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
cool
it's even
because some
better.
people were doing, like, unpaid
Yep.
internships at that point.
Yep.
So that went really well, and I wanted to expand my knowledge, and I kinda bounced around with, like, being really interested in herbs and,
Mhm.
herbal medicine, and then, I graduated college, it was like, I don't really wanna go get a master's degree right now,
Sure.
and it's hard to keep pursuing that career
Mhm.
without getting a master's degree.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that. That's interesting.
in
Sure.
the things that I wanted to really be focused on, or it was like I was gonna move to someplace super random and work in like at Disney as a gardener or something, and
Mhm, mhm,
that didn't pique my
mhm.
interest.
Yeah. So you switched gears and now you're doing cleaning exclusively, maybe getting back into gardening.
Yeah,
Yeah. How many employees do you have?
we currently have 17 cleaners,
Okay.
and then we just started a new office person, so we have two full-time office people and two part-time office people.
Yeah. So you got quite a company.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, it's really grown.
Do you ever think about expanding like outside of the area or like
So
Syracuse?
we have an
Like
office in Manlius.
you do.
Yes.
So Waterville.
Yeah, I guess I didn't put that in my bio, did I?
No, you didn't.
Okay. Yeah, so our main office is what we call like our administrative office is in Waterville. It's actually Sangerfield.
Mhm.
And then we have a satellite office in Manlius that just has our supplies. So there's no administrative staff there. It's a very small location. The staff
Sure.
go in, they can refill their buckets and get anything that they need for the
Mhm.
day.
Oh, that's all. Plans for a third place or no?
I would love to go to Saratoga. I have
Really?
family in Saratoga.
Yeah, my best friend lives out there.
Yeah, it's a great area.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
you do well. Very, there's a higher socioeconomic
right.
status out there. A lot of big homes,
Mhm.
families. Like I think you could do well out there.
Yeah, when I search, there's not a lot of companies out
Oh, you already looked into that.
Yeah, I
Wow.
definitely
Okay.
think that that would be a great and it's close enough where, worst case scenario, if I have to be there in person,
Sure.
I could be there, which after doing this manliest location, I'm realizing is probably not important because
Mhm.
I don't ever go out there.
Really,
So,
that's good.
we have a supervisor that does all of like the stocking and things out there for us.
Stocking meaning like cleaning supplies for
Yeah,
them.
making
Yeah.
sure
Gotcha.
that all the inventory is full.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. When I was researching before this talk, I was amazed at like tying in the health benefits of
Yeah,
a clean home. And it was interesting. So I'll just read a few things here. So having a clean house reduces anxiety, increases productivity, improves sleep, and decreases stress.
totally.
Yeah, and it's like funny because I'm reading this and I was like, yes, 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 and
Yeah.
yes. When my house is cluttered or not like dirty from a dog or whatever the kid, for some reason my anxiety goes up
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can't focus on the task at hand as well.
Absolutely.
But then like the over Memorial Day weekend is sort of lame, but like we spent time cleaning the house and it
Yeah.
came out great.
Yeah.
And I felt like afterwards, like, we're
Like
proud of the property, more productive. It was just really nice. So yeah, so if for people that are having a hard time tying in the health side, there's a huge correlation. Have you seen that like with clients or
Oh my
feedback?
gosh.
Tell me
Oh my
about
gosh.
that.
Absolutely. I mean, so I have my house cleaned weekly. So I'm a busy mom. I own my own company.
Yeah.
I have two young babies. I have a 2-year-old and I have a 6-month old. So taking that stress off, it's just like the constant trying to keep up with things.
Yes.
And then the feedback from the clients is like, I walked in and I could breathe again. Or instead of on the weekends having to do that, I was able to go for a run or do something for my mental health or
Yes.
just spend time with my kids and relax into it.
Yep.
And just far as like the daily routines go of being a person and knowing where your things are and then being clean, it's just it's like a breath of fresh air. It's probably, I mean, for me, it's like the same feeling as after a workout when you're like, oh my God, thank God I did that. I didn't want to do that, but I did it. And now I feel so much better.
The majority of people don't enjoy cleaning, right? So they're sacrificing time, which is valuable, doing something that they don't want to do, but they know produces good results, right? So I did this I like math. So I did this example. Let's say your time is worth $35 an hour, like just a random example, and you spend 3 hours a week cleaning your house. Per month, that's $420 per month. You could be paying a company to be cleaning your house and you wouldn't have to be doing it.
Exactly.
Right? You could be working in something you're more passionate about, right? Or spending time with your kids. But like your time has a price tag.
Everybody's does.
And I didn't realize this till maybe 8 or 10 years ago when we got a lot busier here at the gym, that I'm outside like mowing the lawn for like 2.5 hours. And the first 2 years we were here, I was stubborn. I was like, I'm going to do this massive driveway on my own in the winter. It's like like snowblow, like by hand. We're parking for 30 and I have a 400-foot long driveway. And then year 3 came around and I was like, nope, hiring the lawn. I'm hiring the driveway. And yes, it's more money going out. But for what I could do training here or like with sales or marketing to get more business to pay for that is a huge like epiphany. And I want people listening to this like to take that away.
So we all have our zones of genius, right? And like we want to be in that most of the time during the day and not doing the things that stress us out. And it's like, and when you're cleaning your own house, you don't get through it the way that a professional is going to get through it, because you stop, you're like, why do I still have this thing? Oh my God, I'm cleaning underneath the kitchen or underneath the kitchen or the bathroom cabinet. But all I really need to do is wipe down these baseboards and get these floors clean.
It's like a rabbit hole. It's like you look under the bed and you're like, oh shit, that's really bad. And then you're into there, but you're supposed to be cleaning the bathroom. And then your phone rings and then, and then the efficiency, I think, of most people cleaning their home is not efficient.
It's not.
Versus a professional that comes in 1, 2, 3 hours a week. They're there, they're focused, they're going hard, they know what to do, and then they leave. And then you get home and your house smells good.
And they don't have any emotional attachment to all these things. They don't find that box of old photos or something like, oh, let me take a minute and look at this. And then the minute turns into 20 minutes. And they're like, I got to text my friend. I haven't talked to her in forever.
This was me a few weeks ago. I was down in the basement doing some organizing, and then I stumbled upon my hunting stuff. And I was like, oh gosh, like this looks, I got to organize it. And then you're into all the clothes and then you go to the dresser with the gear and it's like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it was like, maybe not a waste of time, but I didn't get done what I wanted to get done.
So, you didn't get that dopamine hit from getting something off of your to-do list. And another connection about just people feeling good about it is like a lot of us are working from home. And if you leave your office, your nice little secluded office, and you're going to make yourself lunch or grab another cup of coffee, and you come across that dirty floor, like now you have that invisible to-do list. Now you're kind of going down a rabbit hole of like negativity or just the stress of this on top of this on top of this.
See, you were describing like my life, right? At some extent. I work alive in office in the gym here, but it's sort of hard to get work done sometimes, like with clients here. So I work in my dining room in the house, which is quiet because kids at school, wife's at work, right? But the house is like a normal house, like a family house. Like sometimes it's clean, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's cluttered, sometimes it's not. But you are so right. You stand up, you do an hour of work, you stand up, get a drink, use the bathroom, and then you see the dishes sitting there, or you see the laundry sitting there. I'm just going through my house like right now. And it's all just piling in
Uh-huh.
versus, let's say, like when it's quiet out here in the gym and I am in my office,
Right.
like there's nothing else. It's like perfectly neat. It's like staged nice, it's a great work environment.
Yes.
But the house is a little different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a romantic idea about working from home for those that don't work from home. And then you start working from home and you're like, I need a space. So we recently got a space in
Smart.
September
Yep.
and I will go there. Even I have a beautiful work from home space
Yep.
and my house is usually pretty clean because I have blessed with owning a cleaning company.
Mhm.
So it's very nice. I can fit myself into the schedule. But getting away from everything and going to that space just helps me focus so much. But when you don't have that option to go somewhere and you're working from home, it's like that can really just be so much on your mind. When you just need to do your job, you need to do a good job
Yep.
so that you can, bring in more income or get that task done.
Home, like working from home, studies have shown like efficiency is higher.
Yeah.
Okay. Like these are remote jobs.
Okay.
They've noticed, especially during COVID, that more work gets done in less amount of hours. I think it's probably because there's less people to talk to, right? Like water cooler drama,
Yeah.
all that, longer breaks than what you should be taking. But on the flip side, if you're working in an unorganized space, like what we're
Yes.
talking about, I would say that statistic would probably flip.
Mhm.
I'd think that maybe your efficiency would be less.
Yeah, and I know that now that I have had my house cleaned on a regular basis, I'm
Mhm.
able to actually declutter,
Yeah.
and
Doesn't
that
that
is
feel good? There's like
huge.
declutter coaches,
Yeah.
like to make a full time
Oh,
living,
yeah.
getting rid of people's stuff.
Yes, and
Oh
I
my
can see
gosh, I love getting
why,
rid of stuff.
especially with kids. I didn't realize, like, kids equal this massive amount of stuff, and like I said, I have a six-month-old, so she just grew out of her three-month clothes. She's a tiny little baby, so she grew out of her three-month clothes, and I'm like, now and one of my staff members comes over and helps me with this kind of just random stuff. She got all the three-month clothes stuff packed up, and I can't imagine not having this help and just
Yep.
feeling like I'm going and it's not even the people that work out of their house, it's just like starting your day off in a negative health and negative mind of
Yep.
like, oh my God, when I get home from work, I got to do this and I got to make
Yes.
sure I get the floors done. The
Yeah.
floors haven't been done in weeks. And nobody deserves to live in that space.
No one wants to get to a Friday night or Saturday morning and be like, that's their day is cleaning,
Right.
like 6 or 8 hours on a Saturday. Like
No.
that sucks.
Especially if you're an upstate New Yorker and
Yep.
we're having the best weather we've had in so
Yes.
long.
You want to be outside. You want to be doing cool things.
Right.
It's interesting. I did some more digging here. With like I feel, and this is a hypothesis, like a clean home equals an organized life. Okay.
Absolutely.
So how do I put this? If you take a look at, let's say, just a general person out there, and you look at their property, backyard, their shed, their house, the basement, and it's a wreck.
Yeah.
Like my hypothesis is that their mind, their success,
Yes.
their happiness is not at the highest state that it could be
Right.
versus the neighbor who is organized, neat, and clean, right?
Right.
I'm not saying they're different humans, they're both equal as humans, they're good
Right.
people. But I'm saying their mind, right? Like one's like super cluttered and stressed, right?
Uh-huh.
I would say, this is a hypothesis, like anxious. The other's probably got a lot of organization in their life. Would you agree with that? Like
Yeah.
seeing the different examples? Yeah,
I've lived both lives.
sure. Me too.
So like I don't know how anybody could not have organization and live in a messy, dirty space and be at their highest being. Like
Yeah, I don't think that's
I don't think it
possible.
is. I
No.
think the stress just weighs you down and you start feeling bad. And
Mhm.
and that's the type of feedback that we get from our clients is
Mhm.
like, oh, because of you guys, I feel like I'm able to do this and now I feel better because of it.
Mhm.
And it's just there's just something about a clean house. It just
You're
makes you feel like you can breathe.
and you have pride of ownership. I said that earlier, but like I want to talk about that for a second. Properties are hard to maintain, right? The bigger the property, the harder it is, even small properties. But a clean property makes you proud of it.
Yes.
So when the window needs cleaning or there's a chip somewhere, like you don't let those add up.
Right.
I've done like lots of construction with my dad and different things, sold real estate for 5 years before the gym. I've seen a lot of houses. I've built two, built five different properties total. Like when improvements start to go downhill and you let them add up, like the ding on the wall and the window and this, the leak, it's sort of like it's a gravitational pull to let everything go. And then in
Yeah.
5 or 10 years, your house is run down,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Versus if it's clean, neat, and organized, I find pride in like, okay, like that needs work. I'm going to take an hour or two and I'm going to chip that off the list, stay
Right.
caught up on that, stay caught up on that, stay caught up on that. And that's the momentum going that way, you know? But
Absolutely.
it all comes from having pride of ownership, though, you
Yes.
know? And yeah, and I think that a clean, organized house goes helps you with that for sure. Same thing
Yeah.
with
I was
vehicles.
just thinking of like cars. You
Wow,
get in your car first thing in the morning, it's a mess. You're like, oh my God, my life is a terrible thing to be living right now.
I think that a lot of people get rid of their cars like way too soon because they just haven't kept up cleaning it.
Yes.
So mine's like a 2014, 111,000 miles. I was gonna get rid of it like 6 months ago, and it was like need tires, brakes, right? Ran good, but
Yeah.
needed maintenance. But it was filthy because I use my SUV for a truck.
Right.
I put deer in there when I hunt. Like, it's bad, and like, but I was like, you know what? Like the sales tax on a new vehicle alone is like 4 grand,
Yeah.
right? So I took this mental picture and said, all right, new tires, new brakes, new rotors, and a detail job. And for, I don't know, it was like $1,700, half the cost of the sales tax,
Uh-huh.
new vehicle.
Right.
But the whole mind now in 6 months, I haven't looked at vehicles because I'm happy with what I have,
Right.
because I cleaned it and, maintained. So, yeah, it's sort of funny. I think that would be something else we'd be accurate on. Like the more rundown that vehicle
Yeah.
gets with normal things, not like major engine
Right.
issues.
Of course.
Someone's like, oh, I'm just going to go get that new $50,000, vehicle that you
Right.
might not even need. Just clean it.
And it's always been interesting to me, I sell cleaning as a service, and that's my livelihood. That people buy these big, grandiose, amazing homes, and then they think like
Yeah.
they don't want to pay for it to be cleaned on a regular basis,
Yep.
which is fine. And, but at the same time, it's like, don't you want to maintain? Homes are typically one of the largest purchases that you're going to make in your entire life,
Yeah. Yeah.
most Americans. And it's
20
like,
to 30
but
years of
right.
maintenance for
And
the
then
average
not even the
person.
like the income associated or with
Mhm.
the value of your home, but just how much time you're going to spend there. And it's like,
Sure.
don't you just want to feel good about it? Don't you
Mhm.
want to keep it up looking nice? And don't you want to feel good when you have people come over for dinner? And
Mhm.
it's just such a good feeling to have your home maintained on a regular basis.
Average square footage of a home in 1950 was 1,200 square
Yeah,
feet.
I bet.
Now, 2,400.
Yeah.
And so these homes are big, right?
Yes.
I could argue that I think smaller homes are beneficial in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, but I respect the big stuff too. It's cool. But when we were cleaning on Saturday, my wife had said, "Boy, I'm glad we have a small house. 1,600 square feet,
Right.
3-2, full basement. Like it's not a tiny home by any means, but it's not this 3,000 square foot,
Right.
Goliath. So yeah, I think they're easier to maintain and clean. But if you do have a big home, you need more help,
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely.
There's a quote here by Jordan Peterson. I'm a fan of him. If you can't even clean up your own room, who the hell are you to give advice to the world?
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's pretty darn good. And he also believes that only by taking care of your immediate environment can then you move on to bigger challenges in life.
I think that is so big.
That's big, and it's funny. Like before this talk, I didn't even think we were going to go into this like life coach thing, but it's so cool
It
how
really is.
important this is. There's a Navy SEAL, famous talk. I forget the name, but at a college, he had said like, start your day by making your bed.
Yes, I've heard that.
You've heard this,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's, I don't know, all these are like hitting along the lines of
Yeah.
exactly what we're talking
Well,
about.
I've heard that it sets the tone that you're able to do things. You're able
Mhm.
to be a person that's going to get things done that day. And
Yes.
then on top of that, like you have a nice, tidy, clean space, which
Mhm.
goes back to the organized mind and just being able to breathe in your space.
And how can you be like an efficient leader leading others to be good leaders if your own space
Right.
isn't worthy, right?
Exactly.
It's like if I was a trainer and like I never worked out, owned no
Right.
equipment, like I sold training, but
Right.
I, didn't exist in that space.
Right.
I wouldn't sell packages. Like I just wouldn't be able to market and sell and train. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And so you're a leader or you're a good parent or a great spouse or whatever it is. And you're giving advice and you're trying to be this example, but underneath it's not happening, right? Your bed is messy, house is unorganized. And so, yeah, I just thought because these are people that I really do look up to. And they're all hinting at the same thing. So,
Right.
yeah, that's cool. Let's see here. We talked about the garden. That was very great. What makes your cleaning company different than
So
other
we
cleaning companies?
I feel like there's a few things.
Mhm.
We really put a huge emphasis on customer service and customizable packages. So cleaning services can be looked at as a luxury, or it can be necessary for some people. For
Sure.
me, if I didn't even own a cleaning company, then it would be a non-negotiable in my house because I need it for my mental health. I need it to be a good mom. I need it to be a
Mhm.
good wife, or I'm just going to be spiraling out of control into anxiety.
Yeah.
Um, so I think being able to make packages that are more affordable for our clients is really important. So we let our clients guide what is very important to them, and then
Yeah.
we'll build things because a lot of people do have these large homes and they're
Mhm.
not using all the spaces. So if we were to quote a home that is 2,500 square feet and we're
Yes.
going to clean each room on each visit, that would probably be a little bit more expensive than most people want to pay for cleaning service. But if we
Mhm.
can get that down to a customized packages and be hitting the high traffic areas, be doing a full clean of that every
Mhm.
visit,
Mhm.
and then rotating their lower traffic areas by doing a spot clean on one visit and then on the next visit doing a full clean of them. It helps people to be able to get
Nice.
the price down and make it more affordable.
Mhm.
So I think that's one big thing. Another big thing that we lean towards an eco-friendly side of things. Like I mentioned, I have a background in horticulture,
Mhm.
which lends you to be more eco-friendly and eco-conscious of things. So we make a lot of our own products. We're
Oh,
using things
nice.
like Dawn, hydrogen peroxide. Our glass and window cleaner is rubbing alcohol, which was a
Nice.
really great selling point when we were using it for disinfecting a lot during COVID, the height of
Sure.
COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
And we use Swiffer, but we use reusable Swiffer heads that are washable.
Awesome. Yeah.
All of our we use a lot of we. The only time we're using paper products, paper towels, is on toilets for the
Mhm.
hygienic
Mhm.
aspects of that. But
Sure.
everything else is reusable and washable. So I think that that sets us aside. And just being mostly moms in the company.
Mhm. Mhm.
We do have Joe. Shout out to Joe, who is not a mom, but most of us are busy moms that are living the example and
Sure.
feeling the stress that a lot of these and people will be so embarrassed. Like, I can't believe I let my house get this bad, or I can't, I'm so, so sorry. And it's like, please, you do not have to be
No,
sorry.
we're all in the same
We
boat.
get
Yes, we
it.
get it. Exactly.
We're here to relieve stress. We're here
Mhm.
to help out. So I think those things set us aside.
I like that. The eco-friendly side, I didn't even anticipate that
Yeah.
answer. Yeah, that's huge. That's important to me.
Yeah.
Here in the gym, we use Thieves.
Yep.
It's like an essential oil
Yes.
something. But super clean, I guess. In the house, we use some Myers
Yep.
stuff. Like we are trying to be conscious with that too,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're spraying it in the air and it's on the floors,
Right.
that's really neat that you take that perspective.
Yeah. So, and that goes all incorporated with the health of things. So I don't think a lot of people are completely aware about how bad cleaning products
They
can be.
aren't, yeah, no.
Perfumes and fragrances in your laundry soap, and then you're
Mhm.
putting it on your skin, which is your largest organ, super absorbent.
Yep.
That's all so bad for your family if you're going that route. Windex, huge company. I mean, most people have Windex in their home. It's a hormone disruptor for women
Okay.
and
We just cleaned our windows
females.
for that.
Yeah,
So what should we use?
what we use Dawn and water mixed together. We get
Okay.
like the layer of grime off, and then we go streak free with straight 70% rubbing alcohol.
And that's the stuff in the bottle,
Yeah, stuff
70%?
that you buy at CVS
No
in like
way.
in the health
Because
aisles.
we have like big French doors and they were dirty, so we
Yeah,
cleaned them.
yeah.
And Windex smells good.
It does smell good, but that means that it's probably not good for you.
So I lost some brain cells.
Yeah, and like
Yeah,
our
okay,
biggest concern is we have women
sure.
and female, children that we're cleaning for, and
Yeah.
like it being a hormone disruptor. First off, like that should just not even be a thing that
No,
people it shouldn't be on the market, in
no.
my opinion.
And there shouldn't,
And
there's a lot of stuff that
and then the
smart.
cost of it, like we're making all of our own products literally out of dawn. So it's something to really consider what if you're being health conscious, if you're part of Josh's community, think about what you're using in your home. It's very important. And that's not to say we are 100% eco-friendly. We do
Sure.
pull out the big guns that we say, like if we're battling some things in somebody's home that hasn't been cleaned in years.
Sure.
But
Sure.
when it comes to maintenance cleaning, that's what we're using.
Yeah, that's great. It's cool hearing you customize the packages because
Yeah.
that's what we do here.
Yep.
Same thing. In the beginning, it was more like just choose this, but then like your closure rate's lower
Yeah.
because everyone's lives are different.
Right.
And so yeah, like almost like a build your own package.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really great. What is the I'm just curious, like median package cost? And like
So
you could just, I know for everyone listening, it's like here, it's wide. Like
it
for
is.
here, right? You're looking at like 175 to 600, right? Like it's a huge span.
Right.
Where are you like median, like average?
So, like per month. So most people go with our bi-weekly cleaning. So we're there every other week.
Okay, good
Um,
idea.
yeah. So we offer weekly, bi-weekly, and then every 4 weeks, which is monthly, is however people refer to it. And the normal package for this area, where most homes are about 2,000 square feet, is about $200 a visit, so $400 a month.
Yeah, that's the example I gave.
Yeah.
420.
Yeah. And it works.
Yeah, that works. And yeah, I was on a Zoom call yesterday with a life coaching client,
Uh-huh.
and we were I've done some research, and like the average family wastes 300 to 500 a month with
Yeah.
like dinners out and all
Right.
this like not needed stuff.
Yeah.
And you can tell what's important to a person with where they spend their money.
Absolutely.
So if someone comes in and they're like, I can't afford 300 a month for training or let's say cleaning, but they've got all these extra frills, it's you have the option to stop that and put
Yes.
your money that's where things are most important. And so yeah, no, I think that's like right in line. And so
Yeah.
for people listening, I'm sure they can go higher, they can go
Oh
lower.
yeah. And
Yeah,
people have larger homes, people
sure,
have
sure.
busier
Or smaller
houses
homes.
or smaller homes. Yep.
Yeah, yep.
So we have a minimum of, like, depending on the area, of a basically, let me do some quick math in my head, which is not my specialty. Our minimum is 180 if you're not, like, if your neighbor, basically, if somebody 5 miles down the road doesn't use you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If they do, then we can get it lower than that. But we do
Okay.
pay our staff for travel and everything. So we have to put that into our cost.
Yeah, makes total sense. Yeah, it's worth it. Few random questions
Sure.
here. With funny stories, like with cleaning, things you see, or
Oh,
like
boy.
I'm sure, like, because I like this stuff.
Oh
Like
gosh, it's been forever since I've been in the field now.
any staff stories or like things you've like you're like, whoa.
Most of the stuff that's like, whoa, I probably wouldn't want to repeat.
Yeah, and that's cool. Nothing's built
We
in.
won't be going back there. No, I would say generally speaking, our clients are they're very respectful people. Um, I think people letting their birds fly around has been like a whoa thing. We ran, yeah,
Don't they
like in
just
their
like shit
home.
everywhere?
Yeah, so that's we actually I heard about it. Like I feel like I'm kind of, I'm not in the day to day right now with being so busy, but uh, I heard about it, and then somebody in my office was like, "Wait, Heather, you do realize that that's been twice in the last week?" And I'm like, "What?" And I had never ran into that in like my, I don't even know how many years I'm up to, 24 years of cleaning.
Mhm.
But I can't think of anything that's just like people in their underwear where it's like, come
Oh, okay.
on.
Oh, when you get there?
Yeah, it's like, come
Oh,
on,
okay.
like we're all, most of us are like 40 or under women, so let's just be respectful of that.
Like you knew we were coming, buddy. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I would think that your staff probably sees lots of things. Yeah,
They do. There's a book out on the market somewhere. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but it's like Tales of a House Cleaner.
yeah,
And people,
yeah.
we see things, but most of it's like we have a confidentiality agreement
Sure, 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 sure.
just for those interested in
So
the
see like
services.
drugs sitting on like the table, like you're not
Yeah.
like blowing them in. Yeah.
No, like if we see something like if it's any like hard drugs, which we've never ran into,
Sure.
we wouldn't return. We're not going to put our staff at.
Sure.
But yeah, we're not calling the cops.
Gotcha.
Bogey and all.
You're just cleaning the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So I'm interested, like I've heard stories with people that have house cleaners that they clean their house before the cleaner comes.
Yeah.
Have you? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's hysterical to me. In
That's
my
a very
life, in my first marriage,
yeah.
that we had a house cleaner, it was a Mennonite lady years ago. Great cleaners, awesome. And but like that's it was like the cleaner's coming at 11,
Yes.
pick up.
Yeah.
And I'm like the cleaner's coming. And it's like, well, the house isn't supposed to be trashed. I'm like,
Right.
well, you've heard this then?
Oh, it's super, super common.
It is.
It's very, very common.
You're clean before the cleaning person.
So I think
comes.
so. Okay, like my husband, he'll probably listen to this, and I love him dearly. He's amazing, great father. But there's a difference between picking up and cleaning.
Sure.
So, like, you want to prepare your house to actually get clean.
Sure.
So most of the time, cleaning services are based on an hourly rate, even if you have a flat rate. The cleaning professionals are assessing your home and figuring out like how long is it going to take. Okay, some people in my company can do it faster. Some people are a little bit slower. So if you have a flat rate, you're not being you're not being penalized if somebody's newer and they're slower and things like that. But you don't want to pay for somebody to tidy,
Sure.
pick up. You want to pay for somebody to actually clean. And if they can't get to those surfaces,
So if your floor in your bedroom is just covered in crap,
right,
they can't mop
right.
accordingly.
If you want them to take the 5 to 10 minutes in each room to pick the stuff up, put it on the bed.
Sure.
And then, so we've been talking about just like the sense of relief that you have when you come into a clean house. You don't want to come into a clean home and there be stuff piled on the bed that then you have to take care of before you get ready to go to bed that night.
Yep. Makes sense. Yep.
So you might have some amazing cleaners that are going to put everything away, but like they're probably undervaluing themselves and they're not going to stick in this industry for a long time because it's not worth it to them. So like our company will happily do that for you, but it's an additional cost. Time is money, right?
Yeah,
we all know that.
Absolutely. And they're organizing your house for you.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
which is basically a different service,
Right.
So it's like, yes, that's super common.
Right.
And we do it, so my cleanings are typically on Tuesday. So every Monday night, it's like, hey, they're coming tomorrow. Let's make sure everything's picked up. Yep.
All right, cool. So I was on with that. Oddball. You have an awesome nonprofit, Cleaning for a Reason.
Yes.
And give us the 101 of the cool stuff you're doing with
So
that.
we are partners with Cleaning for a Reason, which is a national, and I believe they're in Canada too. I need to get clarification on that. They're a national company who cleans for cancer patients currently in treatment. And it's super easy to get registered. Caretakers or family members, friends can go to cleaningforareason.org and apply for the person in treatment as a patient. And what we are currently offering to local patients, and that is for Onondaga, Oneida, and Madison counties. And if you have a particular situation, you can always reach out to my office and we can contact the nonprofit and say, like, we said that we would go further for this person. My mom just had a situation like that. So we're traveling a little bit further for somebody. So we will do 2 free cleanings, 3 hours each. And you can do like priority style cleaning, which is typically the best way to go about it. So you can say, I want, my 2 bathrooms and my kitchen cleaned and whatever else you can get to, if you can get to the living space or whatever the case may be. And some people will take the 6 hours that we're offering each patient and put it into one appointment so that they're getting a fuller deep clean.
Sure.
Yeah. Cause there's the difference between deep cleaning and maintenance cleaning. So yeah. So Cleaning for a Reason, at cleaningforareason.org. It's amazing. it gives us a lot of pride to be partnering with them. I do have a goal to serve 25 patients this year, which
Mhm.
the year for Cleaning for a Reason is April to April. So we really would love to see more people getting using our services completely free to the patient.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful.
It goes back to healthy mind.
Yes.
Healthy mind is you've got to be positive when you're going through all that. My mom is a breast cancer survivor,
Mhm.
and it's just really important for you to be mentally strong and
Mhm.
feeling like you can do this. You can get through all those treatments. It's so hard, and the last thing you need to be doing is worrying about your dirty floors,
Yeah,
especially. It's typical for people to have visitors during that time when they're
sure.
going through treatment. So worrying that your Aunt Joe's coming over and the house is a disaster, you can
Yes.
schedule our services that week if you have somebody flying in or coming over to visit, so you don't have to worry about getting all that taken care of.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you're giving back to the local community,
Yeah,
helping people in need. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
we love
great.
it.
That is great. What is the 10-year vision for your company? Because you're still a young entrepreneur.
Yeah, so
10 years, a lot of things changes. I'm assuming you have some kind of vision. Like, what do you see 10
yeah,
years?
I see an additional office in Saratoga.
Okay,
I have
sweet.
family out there, and so I like that. Uh 10 years. I really so we figured it out the other day that every single parent, and we have some grandparents that work for us as well. Every single person that is a grandparent or parent that works for my company has some sort of special schedule. So I really love that. I love building on that and building a company where people can work and have some flexibility. Flexibility is like the number one when you look at what people want nowadays out of
That's
a
what we
work
do
environment.
here. That's the
Yeah.
same exact way. We don't schedule their hours. Like we have intake and then we assign, but we assign based on what they prefer.
Yeah.
And so it's like a lifestyle type position. Yeah,
Yeah.
similar with yours then.
Yeah.
That's wicked cool.
Similar. Like we have certain things that we have to be hard on, but
Sure.
like, if you need to work 4 days a week, so you can have that one day to do your doctor's appointments, your grocery shopping, your this, that, and the other thing that everybody has to do, bring your dog to the groom or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
You have that day designated, and nobody wants to use their weekends. Nobody wants to use their weekends. You need that downtime.
For sure.
So 10 years. So this year, actually, I think we hit it this month. We became one of the largest highest revenue producing cleaning companies in the country in Canada, which is like this huge deal. I will be receiving our green jacket, which is a Debbie Sardone thing.
Okay.
So Cleaning Business Fundamentals is an organization we're a part of, so we're being recognized by them.
Yep.
I want to continue to give back to the community. I don't know. I feel like I've been in this little child bubble for 2 years.
Sure.
So I want to get some stuff on paper, but I definitely want to keep growing. I know my husband's interested in adding air duct cleaning to our services. So that's
That
a
I'll tell you what,
potential.
that is a good idea.
Yeah.
I know there are heating companies that offer that service too,
Yeah.
but I'd say it's probably not that popular with them. There are houses that I go into that I look down those vents
Yeah.
and it is like shit. Like
Yeah.
you're breathing that in
Yeah.
all, but like bad.
Right.
I clean ours and it's a newer house, so it's easier. But some of these older homes, oh man, you're talking like
Oh yeah.
8, 10 inch ductwork caked
Yeah.
with stuff and mold, allergens. Every time that heat turns on, it just cranks into the air.
Yeah.
And like furnace filters, that's like super easy, but you
Yeah.
could change that for people. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think additional services is definitely part of what
I
we're
like
looking
that.
at.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. Saratoga. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Saratoga is probably our next stop.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it'll be easier for us to be out there, and it's just so lovely out there. I would love to just spend more time there.
For sure. Yeah. Do you like horses?
I
Racing?
so I'm going to my first event in July. We have a
Awesome.
big my aunt and uncle live out there,
Yep.
and like I have 18 first cousins.
Okay.
And the majority of us are going out there with our parents and stuff in July. So it's this
Yeah.
big to do.
Well,
So we'll see what happens.
there's a huge event out there. I think it's in July.
Yeah.
Are you going to it? So you're going to a horse event out there?
We're going to the track.
Yeah, the track. Yep. I forget what it's called. I think it's like one of the biggest of the year is in July. So I don't know if you're going to
I
that.
don't know either.
It's like everyone from out of town comes in. It's a pretty high roller, but it's pretty cool. So
Yeah,
yeah. So for people interested in learning more and contacting your company,
sure.
how can they get a hold of you?
The best way is to go to our website, which is cnyhomesweethome.com.
Yep.
There are quoting forms right on there, which you input your information, we'll get an email automatically and we'll call you. It's a really good idea to get on the phone with us and not to try to do it over text and email because,
Sure.
like I said, we do have customizable options
Mhm.
and we really are looking for like, what is important to you? I'm not always like the greatest saleswoman because like, I was thinking weekly, and I'm like, you don't need weekly. Start out bi-weekly. If
Yep.
you need more, like let's increase there. But
Sure.
having people stay on for a long time is very important to us versus just making money. It's like we
Yep.
want you to be clients. I've Home Sweet Home started officially 9 years ago this coming October, and I have clients that have been with us for 8 years. And if we were just, astronomically priced
Mhm.
and weren't building these packages for them, we wouldn't have them anymore. So we want the longevity and we want to build those relationships. You can also call 315-520-0118. That's a great way to contact us. You'll speak with Maddie or Melinda, and they are our sales rock stars.
Great. Awesome. This was a great chat. We went into a lot of
Awesome.
areas I didn't think, but it all ties into
Yeah.
health and making the world a little better place. So
Yeah.
thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
One last message. I ask that you please check out our show sponsors, Lombardi Chiropractic, Home Sweet Home Cleaning, Native Path Supplements, and Thin Line Martial Arts. Their links are in the description. Not only do these companies produce outstanding products and services, but they are providing an enticing discount to all listeners who use the code COMO15. That's COMO15 at checkout or when you give them a call.